Hello everyone, my name's Mike Gibson and you're watching the program Moscow Mosaic. I'm in Kazan, the capital of Tatarstan. International Economic Forum, Russia and the Islamic World, KazanForum, is currently taking place right here. And today we will tell you all about this interesting event and also about how Moscow is represented here. So stay tuned, this is going to be interesting. On today's program, the Moscow government delegation took part in the Russia Islamic World Kazan Forum.
The Islamic world holds tremendous potential for developing foreign economic ties. And that's why our participation in the Kazan Forum proved to be highly productive.
Sessions, roundtables, and dozens of signed agreements were all part of the business agenda of the International Economic Forum in Kazan.
I'm thrilled. It's my first time in Kazan, but I really enjoyed it. The organization was excellent. Thank you very much to Rais Minikhanov.
Modest Fashion Day, a fashion festival at Kazan Forum 2025.
It's not just about clothing or accessories, it's truly a lifestyle, a so-called halal lifestyle.
The forum is being held at the Kazan Expo International Exhibition Center. It is one of the largest and most modern exhibition complexes in Russia. The International Economic Forum between Russia and member states of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation was first held in 2009. Since 2023, under a decree by President Vladimir Putin, the forum has been of federal significance, becoming the main international platform for dialogue between Russia and the Muslim world.
When we first started this forum, only 16 countries were represented, mostly foreign students from Islamic countries studying here in Kazan, in Tatarstan, in Russia. Whereas today we see participation from 105 countries. And while back then we had about 300 participants, today the forum welcomes 22,500 guests. A wide range of events are held on the sidelines of the forum. Originally, there were just 3 or 4 conferences or small sessions, whereas now, over these days, the Kazan Expo hosts 141 conferences. That's a tremendous amount of work. And there are all kinds of festivals taking place, not only here in Kazan, but also beyond, in other municipalities across Tatarstan.
Every year, the forum's venues host discussions on key issues such as economic development, investment, logistics, education, tourism, finance and culture. Organizers note that this year's Kazan Forum has reached record levels, featuring representatives from 87 countries and 87 Russian regions.
We place a strong emphasis here on developing relations with the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which includes 57 countries. Russia holds an observer status in this organization. We aim to strengthen ties with the OIC countries. These 57 nations include not only those from the Persian Gulf, but also Asian countries such as Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and others. And, we feel that this platform truly gives a significant boost to trade, to the tourist routes we are discussing and creating here together, as well as to the promotion of trade turnover, investments, and of course joint projects.
A delegation from the Moscow government took part in the forum, led by Sergei Chiromin, Minister of the Moscow government and head of the Department for External Economic and International Relations. As the capital of Russia, Moscow traditionally plays an active role in developing international relations. Cooperation with Islamic countries is one of the city leadership's priority areas in foreign economic activities.
For Moscow, cooperation with the Islamic world is extremely important. We observe a steady growth in foreign trade relations with countries of the Islamic community. For example, over the past 4 years, foreign trade turnover with Muslim countries has increased to $144 billion. Naturally, we continue to see consistent growth in this trade turnover. This cooperation is also crucial for the Russian Federation, as it represents one of the new directions that emerged following the sanctions imposed by the European Union and the United States.
The solemn opening ceremony of the International Economic Forum, Russia, Islamic World, KazanForum 2025 was attended by Marat Husnulin, Deputy Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, Rustam Minikhanov, President of the Republic of Tatarstan, and representatives from Islamic countries. After the ceremony, Marat Husnulin visited the forum participants' booths with special attention given to the Moscow stand. Sergei Cheromin, Minister of the Moscow government, presented the key areas of cooperation between Moscow and the Islamic world and spoke about the implementation of numerous successful joint projects.
We are experiencing exponential growth in foreign economic relations. Over the past 4 years, it has reached $163 billion. For the Russian Federation, approximately 40% of this volume comes from Moscow and Moscow-based residents. The main partners are, of course, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Egypt, Algeria, Indonesia, and Malaysia.
During his tour of the forum venue, Marat Husnulin noted the uniqueness of each exhibition space and emphasized the rich investment, industrial, and tourism potential of the regions represented.
We see very active participation from the regions of the Russian Federation. Many governors have come. Today, governors clearly understand the need to develop business with Muslim countries as it holds great potential. That's why governors have personally taken up this matter themselves. Speaking for myself, for example, I have visited about 10 regional booths, all of which were very, very well prepared. And I truly hope this forum will help establish strong horizontal connections.
The business program at the Kazan Forum is full of events. More than 20,000 participants are here discussing items such as strengthening trade, economic, scientific, technical, social, and cultural ties between Russia and the countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation.
People are coming together. We can clearly see that the entire world is gathered here at Kazan Forum. And it's not just the Islamic world. Is Moscow part of the Islamic world? Probably not. Yet recent data shows that 4 million Muslims live in Moscow. We see the Cathedral Mosque. We see people who not only practice Islam, but also adhere to this integral system. Naturally, they are actively involved in our life and business. Here, ultimately, we see people coming together. There is a cultural program, a sports program, but primarily, of course, it's a business program. While the Kazan Forum started small, it is now attracting more and more attention precisely because of its multipolarity, its prospects, and the opportunity to communicate, share about oneself, and learn about others. And I can gladly say that with these qualities, the forum is destined for excellent future development. I'm thrilled. It's my first time in Kazan, and I truly enjoyed it. The organization was excellent. Thanks to Rais Minikhanov, and first and foremost to our President, Vladimir Putin. Everything here is spectacularly organized, and I thank everyone involved in organizing this wonderful forum.
We came as entrepreneurs to pitch our businesses and also work in groups for group projects and developments in Russia and the OIC countries. And coming here, it's been a great experience. I've really enjoyed it.
The key theme of this year's forum was digitalization, a new reality, and additional opportunities for expanding cooperation. Over these days, discussions focused on issues of digitalizing the economy as well as developing financial technologies and innovations. The Moscow government delegation took part in the session, exporting digital products for smart cities from the concept stage to entering the global market. In a few minutes, the Moscow government minister, Sergei Cheromin, will address the participants of this session with a report on the digitalization of smart cities. Moscow is a vast metropolis with a population of nearly 13.5 million people. That's why urban development planning is one of the most complex strategic tasks for the Moscow government. To help tackle this challenge are tools like the unique Moscow's digital twin system. It collects information on all city communications, building data, energy capacities, and other useful information.
More than 100 of our urban initiatives use artificial intelligence technologies. These include telemedicine, education, economic management systems, utilities management, and, of course, transport management systems.
Thanks to the implementation of a smart video surveillance and facial recognition system developed by Russian companies, Moscow has become one of the safest megacities in the world.
We brought these technologies here not only to showcase them to representatives of the Russian Federation, but also to our international colleagues, because our focus now is on the global market. We operate in Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, and have offices in Africa and the Middle East. And that's why we are keen to share our success stories with our colleagues.
During the session, participants talked about how digitalization is becoming a crucial tool for international collaboration. Delegates from different countries shared their experiences in developing cities using digital technologies and artificial intelligence.
I think what is more important is, yes, we do need technology to progress society in terms of health management, logistics, agriculture, education sector, and all that. But to what end? To get us to a higher field of civilization. We do not want to be isolated, but be more integrated through technology. I think that is the most important, and that's something that all of us should work together towards.
The session, Russia, MENA countries from trade to cooperative projects, is now beginning in this hall. One of the speakers at this meeting is the Moscow government minister, Sergei Cheromin. Hi, can I have a translator? Thank you.
Welcome.
The main topics discussed during the session were trade relations, investment cooperation, industrial partnerships, and the development of logistics projects. Participants paid special attention to the role of international organizations in supporting joint initiatives. The session was moderated by journalist and TV presenter Karina Hassan.
Moscow is truly a unique city that impresses everyone, including representatives from Arab countries. I personally have given many tours to my journalist colleagues and others, and when they come to Moscow, everything amazes them. The vast spaces, the infrastructure, transport accessibility, digital technologies, and how seamlessly it all integrates to create maximum comfort for residents and visitors alike. Of course, everyone wants to learn from this experience and to somehow bring it to their own cities and countries.
In his speech, Sergei Cheromin, minister of the Moscow government, emphasized that today the capital of Russia is actively collaborating with countries in the Middle East and North Africa. This is no longer just traditional raw material exports, but a sustainable partnership in digitalization, logistics, and infrastructure development.
Just a few days ago, an intergovernmental commission meeting was held with Egypt, where we presented Moscow's achievements in infrastructure development, as well as in digitalization, education, healthcare, and transportation. Naturally, our colleagues showed great interest in exchanging experiences and applying Moscow's best practices to the development of Egyptian cities.
Moscow has been doing great job, being a very successful metropolis, and we are very keen on having the Moscow experience being implemented in Cairo as well. Mr. Sergei did a presentation to our Minister of Investment and Trade during the Joint Commission on what Moscow has to offer in terms of cooperation, and the minister actually was very much interested. And not only the minister, I've been living in Moscow for 3 years, and I can tell that any visitor is impressed by what Moscow is offering in terms of quality of everything.
The 9th Forum of Young Diplomats of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Countries was held as part of the KazanForum. At the closing ceremony of this event, the Moscow government minister Sergei Cheromin told the participants about how Moscow supports young professionals. The event, organized by the Council of Young Diplomats for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation and the Academy of Youth Diplomacy, brought together delegates from Bahrain, Indonesia, Iraq, Iran, Cameroon, Kyrgyzstan, the United Arab Emirates, Tajikistan, and many others. The forum also included young staff members from the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, government officials, representatives of public organizations, and international experts.
Today, one of the delegates said something very insightful. If there had been different formats for involving diplomats and specialists at a young age, 30 to 40 years ago, the world would be very different now. And of course, when you have a like-minded friend, you start building a friendship with them in your youth. The challenges you face as adults become shared challenges. Naturally, we create opportunities for young professionals so that as they grow, both in their careers and professionally, they don't forget those connections that they have, and the experience that they gain in their youth can be put to use later on.
At the forum's closing ceremony, participants discussed the role of diplomacy in a multipolar world, the development of humanitarian and educational cooperation, and the impact of digital technologies on international relations.
It was truly great. The energy of young people is always inspiring. I think you'll agree with me. In the government of Nizhny Novgorod region, we place great importance on cooperation with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Council of Young Diplomats. For us, this is an opportunity to better understand the specifics of the Russian diplomatic service, as well, of course, to exchange experiences with our colleagues from other countries.
The extensive program of the 16th International Economic Forum, Russia, Islamic World, KazanForum, included not only business events, but also numerous cultural activities. For example, on one of the forum days, Modest Fashion Day took place, a true fashion festival. It featured 8 designers from several countries. The fashion festival showcased clothing collections inspired by the national traditions of the participating countries.
This is a showcase of high fashion that is modest and decent. Muslim fashion, you could say. Designers from Morocco, Indonesia, Amman, as well as the Emirates, Turkmenistan, and Russia, they all brought their collections here. Various countries participated, presenting truly world-class work by renowned designers. And they use this platform to promote their collections. It's not just about clothing or accessories, it's truly a lifestyle, a so-called halal lifestyle.
At the forum, attendees had the opportunity not only to explore contemporary fashion, but also to learn about its history. Here you can see how they dressed in the Kazan Volga region more than 200 years ago.
Around us are 44 reconstructed costumes of the local peoples of Tatarstan. These, of course, are the local peoples of the Volga region who have historically lived and continue to live here in Tatarstan. This project was initiated by the Assembly of the House of Friendship of the Peoples of Tatarstan. It was supported by the head of the Republic, Rustam Minikhanov, and together with a large team of like-minded people, we recreated these garments, the costumes our ancestors once wore, based on museum samples.
I see some very beautiful boots here. Are they traditional as well?
They are boots crafted from the famous legendary patterned leather that Kazan and our republic has long been known for. It's a leather mosaic. Picture all these pieces being separate and sewn together with a special stitch, creating such a beautiful decoration.
Yes, very beautiful. Super.
Even Isadora Duncan used to wear such fashionable boots. And this is a traditional tubiteyka, a headpiece.
Very beautiful, yes.
Look at how beautifully it's crafted.
Very luxurious.
I think it would suit you.
Can I try it on, please? Wow. I feel like a wealthy person from the 19th century. The business program of the Moscow government delegation's visit to the forum also took place beyond the Kazan Expo Exhibition Center. Delegation members participated in a round table titled Regional Cooperation with Compatriots Abroad. The meeting was held in the building of the World Congress of Tatars.
Sincere meetings, a friendly atmosphere, constructive, productive discussions and speeches. All of this truly reflects our friendship. Naturally, we have been cooperating with the Moscow government and its departments for a very long time. And today, the activities aimed specifically at ensuring interaction between our Tatar community organizations and the coordination councils for compatriots' affairs are very, very important. It's a delicate matter that requires understanding on a deeper level. Our genuinely warm relations make it possible to create this platform.
On the final day of the forum, the Moscow government delegation, led by Minister Sergei Chiroman, took part in the roundtable Russian-Malaysian Economic and Industrial Cooperation, Opportunities for Growth through Technology and Innovation. Today, Malaysia is one of Moscow's key partners. In November 2024, a statement outlining the main areas of cooperation between the Moscow government and the Kuala Lumpur City Hall, the capital of Malaysia, was signed.
Moscow has already participated twice in the Smart Expo high-tech exhibition in Kuala Lumpur and received the top award for the quality of its booth and the content that we presented to our Malaysian partners. I am glad to say that during the visit, a declaration of cooperation between our two capitals was signed, and I truly believe that the scope of this cooperation will undoubtedly continue to grow.
Participants of the roundtable noted that among the current priority areas of cooperation between Moscow and Malaysia are the development of transport infrastructure, technological modernization of megacities, and the implementation of digital solutions in urban management systems. Moscow, in turn, continues to actively study the experience of its Malaysian partners, including in the development of technoparks, and is ready to collaborate on creating joint innovative clusters. During the Kazan Forum, business relations between Russia and the Islamic world grew even stronger. A total of 130 agreements and memorandums were signed. Meetings and business sessions were held with representatives from Iran, the United Arab Emirates, Turkey, Malaysia, Kazakhstan, Qatar, and Tajikistan. Many participants noted that this year's business and cultural program at the KazanForum was particularly rich, and the organizers did everything to make the event memorable, both for its meaningful content and its traditional Eastern hospitality. International Economic Forum, Russia, the Islamic World, KazanForum has now ended. This is the program Moscow Mosaic, and I'm its host, Mike Gibson. See you in our next issue. Bye.